Hello lads and welcome back to the FPL Talk channel, and today we have a massive video. Fantasy football has finally released, so I'm bringing you my very first draft for you to see. It's going to be incredible, and obviously I've got the best team in the game already, so if you want to copy it you can, but I'm definitely going to switch it about 59 times, probably more than that before game week 1 starts. I've already switched it loads as it is. I've switched from 3 at the back to 5 at the back to 4 at the back, you name it, and I've done it. I have created a league. The code is right here. There's absolutely loads of people in it already. It's crazy. Some of the team names as well, absolutely class. But yeah, in today's video, I'm going to show you my first draft, and I'll go through each position and explain to you why I have picked that player and the reason for it. And I may show you some other alternates that could also be good for your team. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So what's a better way to start than by having Edison in goal? Now, personally this year, I feel like it's perfectly fine to have one premium keeper and the other, not so good. So I'm thinking, right, you need either Edison, Alisson or Mendy, maybe Lloris at a stretch. And you literally can put a 4 million keeper on the bench while you have a keeper that has a chance of getting a clean sheet, well, a high chance of getting a clean sheet every week. And obviously Edison has that. Also, what I don't like to do is go for the same player in my in my keeper position and my defence. So if I've got Edison, I don't really want to go Cancelo, and because of budgeting reasons, I thought if I put Edison in goal, then I don't have to get Cancelo, and Edison is always guaranteed to play for that Man City team, and that allows me to have money to spend elsewhere. So it's a very good tactical move. Now, some other keepers as well. If you're looking at the 4.5 millions, I think Sanchez from Brighton is probably the best option for me. People are also going Raya, but Sanchez, I feel like Brighton are going to be a lot stronger than Brentford this year. It's clear to see, really. Brighton finished in the top 10 last season, and I feel like if you want that 4.5 million keeper, he is the man for you. But personally, I think you should go for a premium keeper. Go for a high-end keeper. You could also go for a 5 million and a 4.5, and it still counts out. I think the best value for money is probably Mendy at 5 million. That is an incredible deal, especially how strong Chelsea's defence is, and obviously they got Chilwell and Reece James back this year. So I have Edison in goal. I'm pretty happy with that. So let's show you the defence. Okay, so don't be overwhelmed. There is a lot going on here. 5 at the back. Yes, we've gone 5 all across the back line. I feel like going big at the back this season is a big brain play because they just get so many more returns for the value they are compared to midfielders and attackers. First of all, we've got Trent. Obviously, we've got to have Trent. I don't see the hype of going for Robertson over Trent just to save 0.5 million when Trent gets far superior returns and he's, on literally every set piece there is, free kick around the box and all of that, and he does pop up with a goal here and there, and obviously all the assists he gets. Then I've got Tomiyasu. Now it was between him and Ben White. I did originally have Ben White, but then I've gone Tomiyasu because personally I think Tomiyasu is a safer bet. They're not going to really want to swap him in and out with Cedric because Cedric's pretty poor, let's be honest, and Tomiyasu is more reliable. Whereas Ben White, they've got Saliba now. It'll be interesting to see how they actually work that. I still expect Ben White to play, but I just feel like Tomiyasu is a safer option. Also as a fullback, it gives him a chance of getting more attacking returns, and he's not the smallest player, so he might be up for corners, we'll see. And then my favourite one, Perisic, 5.5 million. Now some people are debating not having him because of the rotational risk coming in at 5.5 million alongside Reguilon and Ryan Sessegnon, where Ryan Sessegnon's valued at 4.5 million. Now I know Spurs have 3 wing backs, but I feel like Perisic is obviously nailed on. He's literally played in the World Cup final. He's had bags of Champions League experience. He's been at that Inter side that have been very successful. And I just feel like he's going to be a nailed-on starter. Other than when the fixtures get jam-packed, is he probably going to be swapped because he is a bit older and he might not be able to handle the schedule. But with Spurs' run, I definitely think he's the best option for them. Then I've got Reece James from Chelsea. Now, you have to have a Chelsea defender. That's what I mean. I could have gone Mendy in goal and then had Cancelo because I don't like having the same players in the back line and the keeper position. Sorry, I'm struggling with hay fever majorly. It's not a good morning. But yeah, Reece James, they also have a nice fixture run, and I feel like between Reece James and Chilwell's at a more rotational risk with Alonso because Alonso wasn't too bad at the end of last season. And Hudson-Odoi, I just don't think he trusts him as much, and I feel like Reece James is going to play far more games with Azpilicueta moving into centre-back now because he's older. But I'm happy with that one. And then Kieran Trippier. Now, I wanted to fit a Newcastle player in because they got a really nice run of fixtures. And I think Kieran Trippier, for his value, is an absolutely incredible one. Only 5 million, and he's one of their most influential players before he got injured. You saw when he joined in January how effective he was on free kicks, whipping in crosses on them set pieces. So he's a bit like a cheaper version of Trent in a worse team, basically. He's like, they aren't bottom half, but he's like a mid-table Trent. That is the best way I describe it. But that is my defence and goalkeeper. So let's go into the midfield. So into the midfield then, and as you can see, you can already tell who my captain for game week 1 is. That is certainly not going to change. Mohamed Salah versus Fulham. Mohamed Salah has returned in the past 5 game week 1s, right? How can you not captain him against Fulham, a newly promoted team, in game week 1? Personally, for me, I don't see the hype with going for like Son to save a mil or just going Luis Diaz. Salah was the highest scoring FPL player last year. He's going to be great again. He's just got a new contract. He's going to be booming in the goals, and he's on penalties just for the even better points. And Luis Diaz there next to him. I feel like this is the only team I'm going to go 2 midfield assets from, just because of how strong Liverpool are. And I think Luis Diaz is pretty nailed on that left side. I see Nunez starting up front, but he's going to be more at rotation with Jota. But I can see this being a massive season for Diaz. He came over from Portugal, settled in rapidly, and we all saw how quality he actually was. And for 8 million, compared to other people around his price, I'm pretty happy with him. Like Kulusevski for 8 million is also the same price. But they've just signed Richarlison, and that makes me a bit concerned about whether I should put him in or not. And Saka, yeah, Saka's good, but as you'll see later on, I don't want to have Saka and another Arsenal player. But Salah, for 13 mil, it's worth the money, alright? Don't try to be different, just put in Mo Salah. Trust the man. But obviously I can see why you would swap Luis Diaz, but with his fixtures and how strong Liverpool are, I think he's a great attacking option. Now I've got Coutinho. This is the one I'm changing in and out with Rashford, because Rashford's for 6.5 million. We just don't know if he's going to start games. He's a great cheap player, but if he fits in the system of Ten Hag and he gets a run of games, I may as well bring him in at the start of the season. Simply because 6.5 million for a United attacker with Ronaldo, and they've got some nice fixtures, could be very good. Rashford is also at a rotational risk here with Martial if they don't get rid of him, because Martial is back and he just tends to play in that left wing position where Rashford is. So it's all dependent on which one he favours. But Coutinho's actually got some really, really nice fixtures. If I can view his information here on fixtures, as you can see, you'll be able to tell later on, I've got a rotational strategy where I can swap him with someone on the bench, because if you look at between game week 5 and game week 7, they are some quite cruel fixtures for him. But look at those first 3 game weeks: Bournemouth, Everton, Palace, and then West Ham, which is a bit tricky. But look at after that as well. If I can keep him in, he also gets another really, really nice run there. So that was my logic behind that one. Only 7 million, and there isn't too many around that mark, really. Other than Rashford, obviously, for 6.5 million, who's tempting me. There's also Bruno, who you could put in. Bruno Goalkeeper from Newcastle, 6 million. That's quite a bargain. And as you can see from Trippier, this is why I put Trippier in as well, because he has some nice fixtures starting off the season, and after City and Liverpool, they still have nice games in between, so he's a really good one that you could use. And we saw how good Bruno was in that Newcastle team when he signed in January, hit the ground running when he starting games, and got that cheeky chip versus Norwich, which is just beautiful, really. So they're the midfield options you could go for. Now let's move on to the big boy attackers. So here is the final 2 players now: Haaland and Jesus. I feel like Haaland, I've been debating him or Harry Kane, because not having a Spurs attacker in it does just feel personally criminal to me. However, I just think there's better options. I don't know. Son is just a bit pricey for me at 12 million. It's really hard to get 3 premiums in the team. I feel like you can only have 2. And Haaland, with his run of fixtures and with like De Bruyne and all that supplying him, I just can't really look past him, because he's going to get so many returns. Like, look at that run. They don't have a red fixture all the way up to about, what's that, game week 10, which is crazy. And anyway, even if he does have some tough fixtures, he's Haaland, and he's playing for Man City, literally one of the most expensive and dominant teams in world football. Now, I've got him at vice-captain at the moment. Obviously, he's going to be my captain in some weeks. Harry Kane, I feel like, in that Spurs team, he's not going to win as many games. And against the likes of Man City, I would back Haaland to score more goals. And I feel like if I don't go with the wave, Like, if you look how many people have actually selected Haaland, 64% people have selected Haaland at the same price of Harry Kane. If he goes and scores like 2 goals in the first game and Harry Kane has a weak start like he did last season, he never hits the ground running early, Harry Kane really, he comes into his element later on, then I could get left behind, and that is my thinking of why I should keep Haaland in there. Then I've also got Jesus. Now, Jesus is only 8 million, and personally for me, 8 million is an absolute bargain. As you can see there, 44.1% of people have picked him. I don't think there's anyone with better fixtures and better price than him at that area. And here his fixtures are. He's, as you can see, all the way up to game week 8. I'm quite happy with that. It ranks United as a hard fixture, but is it really that hard at the minute? Probably not. Obviously, he's a big money signing, but personally, I think he'll probably hit the ground running. It was a debate whether to put Saka in and then go for a different striker, but Jesus is just one of the best value forwards at the minute. I can't look past him, and I'm matching up the 2 City forwards that have been there, the ex-City man with the current City man, the replacement, up front in my FPL. And I am very happy with that team. Now, it's probably going to change a lot because before game week 1, I always change my team about 50 times, but for now, I'm quite happy with that. Let's quickly look at the bench. So here is the bench then. First of all, we got Forster. Now, this is in hope. No, actually, no, it's not in hope. I don't wish injury upon anyone, but if Lloris gets injured first week, we could be cooking. However, I do have Edison in goal, so it doesn't really matter anyway. But that's my thinking there. He's the best 4 million keeper. Then we've got Neto. Now, this is a man that a lot of people have hyped up, but is he overhyped is the question. 23.2% selected, 5.5 million. And the reason that people are hyping him up is because Wolves fixtures start really nice, as you can see there. We've got Leeds, Fulham, and Tottenham, and then after that it's nice again. And I can use this to rotate with Coutinho, so I'm quite happy with that. But people are debating if he's overhyped. Obviously, he's had his injury issues in the past, only scoring 22 points last year in FPL, which you would look at and think, why on earth would you put him in? But we've seen glimpses of how quality he is, and I think he's going to be one of their most influential attackers. I don't want to go for Raul Jimenez because he always lets me down. And for this cheap, I feel like even if he doesn't score many points, it's not like a major risk because of how cheap he actually is. One thing I would say though is regarding transfers, do not panic on transfer. Do not rush to make your transfers. That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Trust your team. I remember a few years ago when Son, or it might have even been last season or whenever, Son scored 4 goals versus Southampton. I transferred him out and did not get them 4 goals. And that taught me a major lesson. So whatever you do, make sure to trust your team and do not panic, because remember, you only get that 1 transfer a week. And the also thing I would recommend is to plan ahead. See how I'm looking to game week like 10 to look at rotational strategies between different players. Don't look to game week 4 and then be like, after that it's awful because you haven't checked, and then you get to game week 5 and you have no good fixtures and you need loads of transfers and you're taking -4s all over the shop. You don't want to do that. Just make sure you plan ahead. And then we've got Pereira from Man United, who's going to Fulham. He looks to be a straight swap with Carvalho in that Fulham team as he's about to sign. He's the best 4.5 million player. He's guaranteed to play really. And hopefully, he's more of an attacking midfielder as well, so hopefully he can get some returns in case anyone gets injured on my pitch. Now, I feel like 2 players that guarantee to play are best on the bench. You don't want to take too many hits on the bench, because if you do get injuries or people get ill, you know what I'm thinking with the illness, then you need people to come on, and you can't keep using all those transfers on that. And then we've also got Greenwood from Leeds. Obviously, he's more of just a sacrifice to get money into the team. Now, that is my team. I am quite confident with that. Obviously, it's going to change a lot, but for now, I'm pretty happy with that. I want to know in the comments before you go, what 2 premium players have you gone for? I've gone Salah and Haaland. Which 2 have you gone for? Get in the comments. If you are new here, and I think there'll be quite a lot of people here because, you know, they're all coming from TikTok now. FPL has started. Please do subscribe and leave a like on the video. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.